So I just wrapped up my very first month monetized as a small art YouTuber, and I actually ended up making more money than I thought I was going to. In case this is our first time meeting, hi, my name is Sarah and I'm the owner of Pepo Studios, which is my little tiny art and content business. I am on a mission to use this channel as a way to share really transparently about my journey building a creative business from the ground up. So in today's video, I'm going to talk all about my journey to monetization on YouTube. So I'm going to give you a deep dive into my analytics, including my day-to-day revenue and what my top performing content was. And I'll talk through some of my thoughts about how monetization might or might not end up impacting my channel going forward. Most of my videos lately have been about balancing this creative business with my full-time non-art related job and figuring out ways to do that in a sustainable way and a way that works for me. So I'm super excited to be able to make this video for you today where I can talk a little bit about finally making a little bit of money from the YouTube side of this creative business that I'm trying to build. I left timestamps on this video, so please feel free to jump around however you'd like. And with that, let's get right into the good stuff. So at the time that I'm recording this video, there are two requirements that need to be met in order to be monetized on YouTube. So first, you need 1,000 subscribers, and second, you need 4,000 watch time hours within the previous 365 days. This basically means that within the last year, when you add up all the time that people have spent watching your videos, it has to hit at least 4,000 hours. Now, there's actually a lower tier of monetization that you hit when you reach 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch time hours, and this includes things like channel memberships and stuff. But what I'm focusing on today is that higher tier of requirements that allows you to generate ad revenue on your videos. I know many of you watching probably haven't been around for my entire YouTube journey, so let's take a step back and I'll bring you all the way to the beginning to talk about my YouTube journey big picture to see just how long it really took me to reach these monetization requirements. So I actually started this channel in the fall of 2021, and it didn't actually start out as Pepo Studios or my art channel. It actually started out as a channel called The State of Sarah, and my vision for it was that it would basically be a vlog channel. And as of right now, all of my old videos are still up on my channel, so if you want to have a little cringe fest, you're welcome to go back and watch those, but full disclosure, at some point I'm probably gonna unlist them because the vast majority of those old videos have absolutely nothing to do with the art content or the creative business side of things that I like to talk about now. You'll see that the first video on my channel is actually all about my tips for fostering a pregnant cat. So really it has nothing to do with what I talk about now. So for the first while there, my videos were truly all over the place. I have things about fostering cats, I have Disney World trips that I went on, or like a Disney cruise that I went on. I have a camping vlog with my family, and I have a few random vlogtobers that I did in 2021 and 2022 when I tried to upload a vlog every day. And back then, when I first started the channel, I really had no YouTube strategy. I just filmed whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted it. I edited it when I felt like it or when I had time, and I just uploaded it. And during most of this time, I was a grad student, so I was working on my research. I definitely was not focused on YouTube at all. I just totally did it on the side for fun, and for the vast majority of this time, I had 27 subscribers. And I can almost guarantee that all of those are family or friends. I remember the day when I decided to record that very first video about fostering a pregnant cat, and I didn't plan on it. I was literally laying in bed that morning, and it was like a Saturday, and for some reason I had woken up really early, and I really just got inspired to do it. I mean, I think I had been thinking about creating on YouTube for a long time. I consume a lot of YouTube content, and I've always loved to make videos. And so that morning, my partner was still asleep in bed, and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do it. So I made a few notes about my tips I had for fostering a pregnant cat, and I just recorded that video, and I made it happen. And the reason that I'm sharing this is because I think this is a really important part of my YouTube mindset for the whole early portion of my journey, because I really was not focused that much on making the perfect video. I was just focused on making videos. I think that if we're too worried about making that perfect video, we will never make any videos at all. So I'm personally really grateful for this era in my YouTube channel when I had 27 subscribers and nobody was watching me, but I kept making videos because I feel like I learned so much during this time. So even though these videos are like chaotic, they're all over the place, they're not particularly well edited, they're all filmed on my phone, it was a crucial part for working this YouTube muscle, learning how to really edit videos more efficiently, learning what makes a good video or what makes a bad video, or, you know, all those instances I had sitting editing a video and I was like, dang, I really wish I had gotten footage of whatever thing. So it's really helped me change my mind about making YouTube videos. Now, fast forward to the end of 2022. So this is about a year after I posted that very first cat fostering video, and that's when I started working on my creative business, Pepo Studios. At this time, Pepo Studios was not on YouTube, it only existed on Instagram, and I was just painting watercolor pet portraits. I really just started painting portraits for family and friends, but I was making content on Instagram pretty regularly. And at this point, I had graduated from my graduate program and started working a full-time job in environmental consulting. Fast forward a few months, and now we're in January of 2023, and I have been working on my Pepo Studios artwork really consistently for all of those months, and I had these big visions to turn this into something that could be sustainable and could be real for me in the long term. So I had already had the foundations of this The State of Sarah YouTube channel that was really chaotic and all over the place, and then I had all this work I was doing on my creative business outside of my 9-to-5, and I had it kind of on my heart that I knew I wanted to combine these things, and I went back and forth for a while of like, do I start a new YouTube channel? Do I keep them separate? And I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go for it. It was honestly the same energy that I had when I first filmed that fostering cats video, where I, after thinking about it for a little bit of time, I decided, all right, I have no more bandwidth to think about this, I'm just gonna do it. And so there was one day I was sitting in my kitchen and I was painting, and I was like, all right, I am gonna prop up my phone so I can film myself painting. And then I had a webcam on the other side of the table connected to my computer, and I was like, I'm just gonna chat to this webcam while I paint and talk about the small creative business goals that I have for 2023. So again, this was not a scripted video, this is not a planned video at all, but it was just coming from a place of, okay, let's do this thing. And something clicked and changed for me when I made that video, because even though it was a pretty objectively mediocre video that was filmed mostly on a webcam, it felt really good for me to be making a video that had some semblance of direction and purpose. And it didn't feel totally aimless and like I was just wandering around throwing spaghetti at the wall when I felt like it. So once I made that first video talking about my small business goals, I renamed the channel to Pepo Studios, and I made the commitment to myself to start making videos just about that topic. So building a small creative business from the ground up, especially with a non-art related background and a non-art related job. I was also really determined at this point to start posting more consistently, because as I said, in the first year or so of my channel, I just kind of posted whatever I felt like, whenever I felt like it. And I wasn't really strict with myself at this point, but I did want to try and get in a more regular uploading schedule. I wasn't necessarily uploading every single week, but I was uploading several times a month. Even though there were a couple months there where I didn't post anything, I definitely increased my output in this second year once I decided to focus on Pepo Studios and this creative business side of things. At this point, the majority of my videos were about my journey into the surface pattern design world. So if you're unfamiliar with surface pattern design, I can post a link to a video here that I did all about what surface pattern design is, but it's basically a niche within the art world where you can create repeating patterns or any kind of artwork that would go on surfaces to be used in products that you might see out in the world. So I've been doing a deep dive in that world and trying to learn all I can about surface pattern design, and I decided to share about it on the internet here on YouTube. So anyway, by the time I'd been posting Pepo Studios videos for around 6 months, I had fewer than 500 subscribers, but more than the 27 I had been coasting at for a while. And after starting to post those videos in January of 2023, it was in July, when I had a particularly randomly good day from one of my videos, that I crossed over the threshold of 500 subscribers. So it took me another 3 months to reach 1,000 subscribers. So I hit that in October of 2023. And I was super excited about that because, as I mentioned, that's one of the requirements you need to hit to reach monetization. But I was still only about halfway to the watch time hours requirement. So even though I had reached 1,000 subscribers, I wasn't able to be monetized quite yet. Once I reached the start of 2024, I definitely embraced the new year, new me energy in January. And I entered this year really resolved to be consistent with my YouTube channel and to start really working those muscles that I'd been developing by creating all of these random videos all over the place and start honing them and using them in a consistent way so that I could upload a video every single Sunday morning for the foreseeable future. Once I made this resolution and I started to actually do it, I really actually saw results. My takeaway from doing this is that I think once you hit a certain threshold of the quality of your content, then consistency is actually super duper important. So as I started uploading my videos every Sunday morning, I started to see really consistent peaks and valleys in my watch time hours, for example. So, you know, every Sunday morning, I would see a big increase in my hours and it would trickle down throughout the week. And then the next Sunday it would go up again and trickle down throughout the week, which I was excited to see. And before I knew it, by the end of January 2024, I had hit that 4,000 watch time hours requirement and I was able to be monetized on YouTube. Okay, so that was an overview of my YouTube journey. So now let's get to the good stuff and let's talk about how much money I actually made in my very first month monetized. So after I had crossed my T's and dotted my I's, my very first day monetized on my YouTube channel was February 5th, 2024. And honestly, I went into this with the expectation that my very first month monetized, I would probably make like $10. $20 would be great because I've seen plenty of these videos like this one of folks talking about their first month monetized, and I anticipated that because I was making largely art related content, I just really didn't think that I would be generating that much money within my very first month with a relatively small audience. Just a quick note, all of the monetary value I'm about to talk about is going to be in USD. So on my very first day monetized, I made about $1.50 and I was so excited about this $1.50. Like, I know it's only $1.50, right? That's not like a huge amount of money at all. It can barely buy you anything these days, but it was the first money I had ever made from making YouTube videos. So after 2 years of making a lot of YouTube videos, I had finally earned $1.50 for doing one of them, and that felt so cool. So you can see that between February 4 and March 4, I uploaded 5 videos. That was 1 per week. And my lowest earning day for the month was actually my very first month monetized when I made $1.50. I reached my highest earning day of the month right around the middle of February, and on that day I earned $11.25. I was so excited about this because, as I mentioned, my expectation for my entire first month was really just to earn like $10. So the fact that I earned $11 in one day, I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. So you can see that across the month, I averaged somewhere around $5 a day. Again, that's like way more than I thought I was going to be making. So when it's all said and done, at the end of my very first month monetized, I ended up making $191.70. Like I said, I'm totally blown away by this number. This is way more than I expected I would be making in my very first month. YouTube actually requires you to hit a threshold of $100 before you get paid out, and I definitely was not expecting to hit that in my first month. So this was quite the surprise. Okay, so now that we've seen how much money I made across the month, I want to dive a little deeper into my analytics and let's talk a little bit about some of my most popular videos, where that money was coming from, and which videos were earning the most money for me. Okay, so now that we've taken a bigger picture look at the revenue that I generated for my first month monetized, I want to now get into some of the more nitty-gritty stuff and look at some of the more detailed analytics for those of you out there who are like me and super into this kind of behind-the-scenes data stuff. So for this, I want to talk about 2 key metrics. So that's going to be the CPM and the RPM. So in case you're not familiar, the CPM is the cost per meal, And that basically boils down to how much an advertiser is willing to pay for every 1,000 views on their ad. And then the other one is the RPM, and so that's the revenue per mille. And so that would be the revenue that the content creator generates for every 1,000 views. So these two are related but separate metrics. Okay, so here we are in the analytics part of my YouTube studio. Two primary things that I want to draw your attention to would be, again, that RPM and the CPM. So my CPM total kind of across my channel during this first month that I was monetized was about $12.57. So what that means basically is that advertisers are willing to spend $12.57 for every 1,000 views that my videos get across my channel, kind of on average. But you can see as we scroll down across my different videos are gonna have different CPMs. So that's gonna depend on the content of the video, the quality of the video. Similar story for the RPM. Now, again, this is showing the average amount of money that my channel is making across all of my videos for every 1,000 views. So basically this means that for every 1,000 views, I can expect to make around $10 with my current analytics. Now, it's really interesting to scroll through both of these across my different videos. You know, so for example, some of mine have a much higher CPM or RPM than others. Like, weirdly, this surface pattern design vlog that I have has a really high RPM, and I don't really know why. It doesn't have that many views, but it has a pretty high RPM of like $28. Whereas other ones here, like, you know, oftentimes my YouTube shorts that I have like 11 cents for an RPM, right? So you're gonna see a big range here. Okay, so these videos right now are sorted in order of views. And so again, we're just looking at that first month monetized. So these videos are my top videos within this period in terms of numbers of views that they got. So I actually got the most views on this video here, which is a review I did of Bonnie Christine's immersion course. And I posted this video the day before my channel was monetized. So I think it was kind of well suited, I guess, in terms of timing. And then the other reason I think it did as well as it did is because I posted this video like 2 weeks before the enrollment period opened up for the course. So I think a lot of people were searching for information that they could find about the course and any reviews, and there really aren't a lot out there. So yeah, I think that that's partially why my review did so well. And you'll see this video has a pretty high RPM and CPM as well. And if we go over to the estimated revenue tab, it looks like this video alone made me around $49. So that's pretty crazy. This video is kind of not super evergreen. I mean, it's pretty seasonal, I would say, because I would imagine that the engagement for a video like this will drop off because at this point the course is open, you've either enrolled or you haven't, so people probably aren't really going to be looking for this video that much anymore. So maybe I would expect it to spike again next year during the immersion enrollment. I expect that this is not going to be at the top of my list in future months. Now, an interesting one here is this second place one, which is my surface pattern design progress in 7 months video. So I anticipate that a lot of you may have found me through that video because that video has just slowly been growing over time. It took me months to realize that it was actually being watched as much as it was. Where we are right now, this video has somewhere around 18,000 views. And for my little channel, that's a lot of views. That kind of blows all my other videos out of the water. But this has consistently been a video that has continued to increase in views. And so it's not too surprising to me that this one's high up on my list. So it looks like in my first month, this video generated me around $40 of revenue. So then the next 3 videos on the list are 3 videos that I uploaded that month. And so I really continued to see momentum with those videos, and they got a decent amount of views, at least for my channel. And they each generated me a decent amount of revenue as well. So you can probably see how getting an understanding of these numbers might impact how someone decides to make their videos, you know, in order to maximize their revenue potential. So I wanted to talk a little bit about that in the context of my channel. Now that I can actually make money on YouTube, it does feel a little bit different from when I was making videos totally for free. So I want to chat a little bit about how I anticipate that being monetized will or won't impact my channel. So as I alluded to earlier, some video types make more money than other video types. And this really depends on a lot of things, but especially the topic and ultimately what kind of audience that video attracts, because advertisers care about who they're selling to. And these kinds of things are going to impact things like the CPM and the RPM. For example, some of the higher earning niches are things like tech or personal finance or real estate. And then on the other side, niches that tend to have lower CPMs and RPMs would be things like vlogs, pet videos, and gaming, for example. Obviously, it might be tempting to make a certain type of content because you anticipate that it would lead to having something like a higher CPM or RPM, meaning a higher earning potential. But what I'll say is that for me personally, my primary goal is not to earn as much money as I possibly can from YouTube. Of course, I do have revenue goals and I do want to build this business into something that eventually can support me full-time, but that doesn't mean that I'm interested in earning money at any cost. One of my personal core goals with building my creative business is to do it in a way that feels sustainable and in a way that feels really authentic to who I am. And personally, I feel like creating content just for the sole purpose of maximizing my earning potential doesn't feel super authentic to me. I also really care personally about attracting an audience who can trust me and who can see me as someone who is being real with them and not just trying to scam them to get as much money out of them as possible, you know what I'm saying? And I value your trust, yes, you, the one watching this video right now, I value your trust so much, and so I wouldn't want to be doing things that would jeopardize that or cause you to start questioning my motivation. Like if I were to start going off down some path that I thought would just generate the most money for me rather than the content that I really want to be making or the content that I think my audience is actually interested in hearing about. Now, all that being said, it is really great to know that the videos that I have been making, that I've just been making for free because I like them and I'm interested in these topics, do have a certain amount of earning potential. Because knowing this gives me some confidence that if I continue to work on growing this little channel and keep making videos about things that I'm already interested in making videos about, then there is kind of some forward momentum here and some potential for me to earn a more substantial amount of money after some additional time and effort. So basically, to sum all of this up, what I'm trying to say is that you have my word that I'm not just going to be making videos to make more money just because I can, and at the same time, I'm super excited to be making any money at all from the videos I already love to be creating. So I would love to hear your thoughts about this topic. I've watched a lot of YouTube videos about how much different creators have earned on YouTube, but I don't often hear this conversation about how that might influence where they go with their channel and with their videos. So I'd be really curious to hear your thoughts on this topic. If you enjoyed this kind of thing, talking about the behind the scenes of building a creative business from the ground up, I invite you to sign up for my monthly newsletter, the Pepo Post. So every month I send a data-packed update about how I spent my time that month building my creative business in the margins of my life around my full-time job. So I track my hours every single day and take note of what I was working on, what I was using to work on that thing, and how long I spent working on that task. And I compile all of that information into my monthly newsletter so I can be really transparent with everyone about what it looks like to actually build this business. I also include a super candid, completely unedited video in these newsletter updates where I set out goals for each month and check in about the goals that I had set myself for the previous month, which is a super helpful accountability check for me, and I've heard from others that it's really valuable to hear kind of how someone else is approaching all of these nitty-gritty weird things about building a creative business, like opening a small business bank account or finishing my surface pattern design portfolio, for example. Also, I pinky promise that I will not spam you because it is hard enough as it is for me to write one email and get one email in your inbox, so I don't even have the capacity to do more than that. So you will be hearing from me one time per month. So if this sounds interesting to you, the link to sign up for my newsletter is in the description. So another way that you can support me and my small business goals totally for free would be to like this video. They say it actually does really help. And to leave a comment so that YouTube shows this video to other creative people like you. Also, I have never in my life told my audience to hit the bell button because I had never hit the bell button myself. But the other day I was in the YouTube app and I was like looking through my subscriber section and saw that someone who I'm subscribed to, whose videos I watch all the time, had posted a video, and I had no idea that she had posted it. And I was so mad at myself because I was like, what? This video is 8 days old. How have I not seen it yet? So now I hit the bell button. So yeah, I guess it's useful for that. So feel free to do that. Also, if you found this video valuable, I have another one on my channel where I talk all about my plan to replace my current full-time salary with the income that I'm working on generating in my art and content business. So feel free to check that out. And with that, thank you very much for being here, and I will see you very soon for my next video. Take care, everyone.